Soon after returning to Dhaka after an official visit to China, Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina's government faced a major challenge due to the students' agitation on the issue of quotas reservation in government jobs. Their ire was directed at the 30% quota reserved for the progeny of the Muktihodhas, or freedom fighters of the 1971 liberation war that gave birth to Bangladesh as we know it today. The main grouse is the continuation of this quota even after 53 years of independence. Government jobs are highly coveted, both for job security and status. Though not entirely similar, it is tempting to compare it with the agitation by students in the 1990s which roiled India, on the reservations in jobs and educational institutions, for the other backward classes OBCs recommended by the Mandal Commission. The normally bustling Dhaka streets have emptied and are being patrolled by the police and army personnel. The only vehicles are armored personnel carriers, moving along the streets of a mega capital city with a population of around 20 million. Many countries, including India, have issued advisories, telling their nationals to stay indoors and avoid travel. Citizens of India, Bhutan, Mauritius, and Nepal, the bulk of whom are students, have fled to India via various border checkpoints at Agartala, Chengrabanda, and Petropole. The Dhaka airport is working more or less normally, at least, according to those reaching India. The protests by the students were initially peaceful but degenerated into violence after pro-government students, the police, and paramilitary forces launched a crackdown on the protesters. This fueled the wave of anger engulfing a section of the population, mainly the middle class. The Supreme Court seized the legal challenge against the quota system after it was upheld by the High Court. This decision sparked latent resentment against quotas which manifested through the demonstrations and subsequent violence. The protest started on the 1st of July at the elite Dhaka University and then spread to other universities. The ruling Awami League's student wing, the Chhatra League, opposed the demonstrations. Clashes ensued, snowballing into violent street battles. The government's offer to negotiate has been rejected by angry students who have vented their anger on the state TV buildings and police stations. They even set a jail on fire, from which around 1,000 convicts have fled. Police personnel have also suffered injuries and a few fatalities. Hasina's sarcastic public remarks that job reservations have to be for freedom fighters and cannot be for the progeny of Razakars further inflamed the students. Razakar is a term meaning traitor, those who collaborated with the genocidal Pakistani army, mainly Urdu-speaking people but also Islamists like the Jamaat-e-Islami (JEI), the leading Islamist party and a Qadri-based organization. Bangladesh has a history of religious radicalism since it fought against the Soviet occupation of Afghanistan in 1979, led by the Taliban with American, Pakistani, and Western support. In the 1990s, the Taliban had recruited a large number of mujahideen from Bangladesh who were associated with Islamist organizations. After the Taliban takeover of Afghanistan, these trained Bangladeshis formed several hardcore religious radical outfits that conducted serial terrorist attacks in the last 2 decades. These outfits also conducted terrorist attacks in India. The Hasina government launched a crackdown and wiped most of them out.